Time I drop a wet sock. You don't drop the dry sock, you drop the wet sock. Drop. Yeah, you get the idea. So you drop the sock in the dirt or the fine silt and it just. Nail it! Hello and welcome to, Carlin's Worlds. Yeah, that should work. I'm a wanderer, a tinkerer, sometimes a nomad, a military veteran. I do things differently. There will be tinkering. I have a motorcycle, a truck, and a school bus. I live off-grid, so there will be some solar, batteries, inverters, and maybe even some wind. It blows. And that's all I can fit into about 30 seconds. Oh, and please, if you like any of this, it would be really awesome if you could subscribe and click that notify bell. Drop a comment if you have any questions or ideas. Share, like, comment, subscribe, notify. Oh, and Patreon if you're really an awesome kind of person. Cool. On with the show already. 9 o'clock, 11 after. Laundry's done. And folded and put away. In your face. Yeah, so a couple random observations. One, I am dumber than shit. Not a big surprise, I suppose. I'm like, okay, I'm all happy. I got my laundry put away and everything, and I'm like, where'd that pair of jeans go? I was looking around. I wasn't going to put them on. I was just like, because I wanted to make sure I laid them out because they're a little bit damp maybe still. Didn't completely dry them. Yeah, where are they? Looking around. Frick! Go back out. Yeah, they're in the dryer still because I didn't want them to get dirty. So I'm like, okay, let me get everything cleaned up out there. So I cleaned the solar panels, put the generators away, put the tarp on the washing and dryer, and put the cargo strap around the tarp and stuff on top of the tarp so it doesn't blow away. And yeah, the jeans are still in the dryer, which is now tarped and tied. Damn it! So I'm like, okay, I'm feeling where the door is of the dryer. I only got to move the strap up about this far to clear the door. So I'm like, okay, loosen the strap, slide the strap up, open the door, pull the jeans out, close the door, pull the strap back down, tighten it up again. Good to go. Not a big deal. So there are a lot of reasons that having the washer and dryer in a little shed are going to be freaking awesome. That's one of them. The other one is every time I drop a wet sock. You don't drop the dry sock, you drop the wet sock. Drop. Yeah, you get the idea. So you drop the sock in the dirt, or the fine silt, and it just... Nail it! However, I've noticed that if you shake it off as much as you can and then throw it in the dryer anyway, I think it's just blowing the sand right out the dryer vent. I've not found a lot of sand on my dry clothes, because once it's dry, the sand falls off. So, yay for that. So my most recent observation, though, I'm thinking there should be a title for these, like, yeah, this is stupid, just hit fast forward. In a climate where it's warm enough, okay, so clothes should be worn to avoid death by hypothermia. Okay, that's a good thing. You know, whatever you want to wear when it's cold to keep you warm so you stay alive and avoid frostbite, that's good. You could probably wear some kind of clothes to avoid sunburning. That's a good thing. But otherwise, you know, clothes are just an enormous burden on the economy, or not. They're probably jump-starting the economy, but they're a burden on your economy. So you got to buy clothes for work. You got to buy clothes for, you know, getting messy or dirty, and then, you know, fashion. What the hell is that all about? You know, it's like, these are last year's clothes. They're no good. Get rid of them. And it'd be like, okay, so if you could eliminate most of the reasons that you wear clothes, all right? So there's about 8 months of the year here where I can survive quite nicely without a shirt. No big deal, all right? It's more comfortable. Less, if you don't wear the shirt, it doesn't get dirty, you don't have to wash it, so you saved electricity and fresh water, which is important in the desert, all right? Plus the wear and tear on the washing machine and the generator. And the gas, right? And drying it. So, alright. So every time you don't wear a shirt, you're saving the environment. And socks and underwear and pants. Alright. The other observation, which is I've heard this a bunch of different places, and I just always laugh when I think about it. If you live alone, you don't need as many showers because nobody's there to tell you that you stink. Eventually, you'll decide you stink and you want to take a shower. And also, if you didn't have to go to work, you don't have to shave then because nobody cares. And so I was like, okay, so not working and living alone is good for the environment because work, you have to drive to get there. You have to wear nice clothes to work. You're supposed to. You have to figure out what to eat when you're away from home because at home you can eat what you already got. But so there's work food and then home food. It seems like you have to wake up at the wrong time to get to work, and you have to go to sleep at the wrong time so you are awake for work. And so work is a downer. It's bad for the environment. And then getting to work, now you need a vehicle of some sort, and you need, gas for the vehicle. And insurance is just a frickin' downer, and license tags and driver's license, and so if you didn't have to go to work, then all of that would be gone. And the motor vehicle guys would go out of business, and because nobody needed to go to work, and so they didn't need a driver's license. So then motor vehicle guys wouldn't have to go to work, and they wouldn't have to wear nice clothes. The ripple effect is staggering on this. Also, bagels are very good in the mid-morning snack. You think about it. Before we had cars, nobody needed a car. Now, I don't know if I could grow enough food on my property out here to survive or not. Well, not directly in the sand, probably. I mean, the vegetation that's here does grow, but since I don't think I can eat a sagebush and survive for very long, I don't know that really helps me. But I could do a greenhouse and bring in proper soil, or find better dirt around here and mix it with, peat moss or something like that, and I could probably make a growing garden of some sort. I don't really like the idea of a garden, but it might be interesting, to do it as a study. I mean, it's a lot of work, but I could see having indoor hydroponics or something like that, just to grow, lettuce and stuff like that would be nice, and tomatoes, I suppose. And it's like the winters aren't that bad, so I could probably have an indoor greenhouse that I could grow some crops in the winter. And then I love the idea of an underground greenhouse for the summer because it would be too hot. And so you'd almost want to have it protected from the heat, which is just alien to me as a Canadian. But then, if I had solar grow lights or some sunlight, skylights that I could regulate, yeah, I could probably grow enough to eat. One potato a day is all you need, right? Reference to the Martian book and movie. So this is kind of a thought. What the hell, we're talking anyway. Take a harder look at what do I actually eat day to day, week to week. Keep an honest log. Okay. And I'm starting to phase out things like Cliff Bars, which I love, but they're kind of expensive and they got a lot of sugar on them, so. My can of chili is good for breakfast. I was just hungry enough now to grab the bagel, and it's been 3 hours since I had my can of chili, so that's about right. If you eat 8 o'clock and 11 o'clock kind of thing. Another one of my problems with work, though, is I got to get up at 4, eat before 5. The shift starts at 6:30 or 7, but I'm usually there by 6:30. But lunch isn't until 12:30. That's way too late. All right. Lately, it's like, okay, I eat oatmeal for breakfast. Oatmeal doesn't go bad very quickly. Breakfast now, oatmeal, coffee, sometimes a bagel, just to give me a little bit more. I don't always eat that, but that could also be a snack. So I could say snack. I should have chili for my snack. That'd be all right. Problem with gardening is you can't grow burritos. It's kind of a letdown. You know, they talk about things like lentils. I think half the reason they like lentils, I mean, they're good for you, I guess, but I think it's more because you can store them for a long time. So here's kind of a part of this. What could I produce locally? Could I adapt to a more garden diet? I like potatoes. Could I do year-round potatoes? Could I grow them? Probably. Because if I don't eat them every day, if you control the water and had decent soil, I could do things like, I've been thinking about mulching some of the dead bush, mix that with the dirt, sort of compost, sort of media kind of thing. I think if I had one, and if I could grow 1 hill of potatoes per day, is more than you need, maybe 1 a week even. And this kind of comes back to, I think the analog to Mars totally makes this make sense. Because in my mind, up until recently, it doesn't make sense to waste the time growing a garden. It really doesn't. Because I can buy a bag of potatoes for about $3. And I should totally do that. So get the potatoes, you know, like what I used to do. When I get them home, wash them, let them air dry, store them, and then they're already ready to eat. Nuke them. All right. One of the other problems with potatoes is you need a lot of energy to eat them. Bake them is 5 or 6 minutes in the microwave. But if I fire up the generator for a few minutes, not a big deal. You know, if I look at it that way, a gallon of gas, I could bake a potato every day of the week and not use the gallon of gas kind of thing. So it's probably okay. The slow cooker. I think that if I used the generator to get the slow cooker going, so like, let's say for instance, okay, make like the chili I used to make, okay. If I fast boiled the beans first to get them right up hot, and then dumped it in the slow cooker, I could probably run the slow cooker during the day off of solar and not hurt the batteries too much. So maybe make chili on laundry day. And I could even use the propane as another alternative. So slow burner on the propane to cook it, or a couple 100 watts on the slow cooker. Probably makes sense. I think I can keep up with the slow cooker. I wonder if I could run the slow cooker off the little inverter. That would be interesting. Also, in the heat of the day, with the slow cooker outside, I wonder how that would work out. I've heard of people doing solar cooking as an option. Maybe you can make a Dutch oven and focus a sun Fresnel lens on it or something like that. I don't know that I ever used the kilowatt on the slow cooker. Maybe I did, I don't remember. Also, I don't have the slow cooker anymore, so I'd have to go buy another one. So I could buy a smaller one. I bought the big one. So here's the thing, okay. Get the little one. Dump in a can of chili. Make a bunch of beans, alright? I could boil the beans for a little bit on propane to get them started, and then put it in the slow cooker and then run that off of solar. Alright. I could also chop up pieces of potatoes. And if I boiled the potato first on the stove, you only need to boil it for a few minutes and then dump it in the slow cooker. And then that would finish it. So if I had a little bit more power, then I could keep the deep freeze cold enough that wouldn't be a problem. All right. Beans make sense to buy. Now, eventually I could grow my own beans. So here's, I guess, the point is, one, could I just not drive the truck anymore? Okay, this is, when I can get to the point, here's another part. Could I make a solar electric golf cart that could haul enough water to be worthwhile? Okay. If I could just puddle my way into town slow enough, and something like a golf cart, 48 volts, pulling 1,000 pounds, maybe I could do it. If I go 10 miles an hour, it takes me an hour to get to town, an hour to get back. Go a little faster on the asphalt because it's smoother, go a little slower on the gravel because it's rough. Okay. If I do that once a week, a couple 100 gallons. The irony is the best solar is when monsoon is, and I don't need to drive then because I got rain. Shit. Also, I use less water in the winter because it's cold. I mean, you don't drink as much. Okay. But yeah, it's like, okay. The biggest bag of beans that I bought was like a 20-pound at Walmart. And I don't think it was $20. Because you get the big bag, it's cheaper than the little bags by far. It's almost the same price as the 10-pound bag for 20 pounds. Because nobody wants it because it's like, it's too many beans, so you don't need it. Alright. So you could take your Home Depot bucket, dump all your beans in there, and snap the lid on it, and you're basically okay. They're going to last for quite a while. They don't tend to go bad. Cook a few cups at a time. Cook your batches small enough so you eat it the first day when it's fresh, and then you throw it in the freezer and cool it off, and you're good to go then. Okay. So the chili you can buy in quantity. If I go get a Sam's Club, Costco, something like that, membership, go buy a month worth of chili and beans and that kind of thing. Most of the food I buy now stays, in cans, so it doesn't need refrigeration. Bread. Now, is it worth? Because I can get a bread maker. All right. How much power do they use? How long does it take to make a loaf of bread? I don't remember. However, I could bake a loaf of bread at the same time I'm doing laundry. Alright. I'm using the generator, why not? Make that worthwhile. The other side of it is, okay, if I can hit the dollar store, and this is not when I'm working, okay? So it's 50 miles to the dollar store. Couple gallons, there and back. Motorcycle, I can haul a shitload of groceries if I put that box on the back. And there was that guy that made the little one-wheel trailer off the back of the motorcycle. I don't think he ever licensed it because it's not really a trailer. It's it's one wheel. But if I look at panniers and the tail box, really, a few loaves of bread, frozen burritos once in a while, that kind of thing. I definitely don't need the truck to go grocery shopping. I could totally do it without the truck. The golf cart idea for going for water is interesting. Because if you let it charge all week, even if you throw a range extending generator on there, it's not a gas powered vehicle. So I need to talk to the sheriffs about that sometime and see what the law is on that in this county, because I think it's county by county. So, could I say, hey, I want once a week to drive into town, get water, come back, just this road. Are you going to bother me? Is it legal? Is it not legal? Whatever. Because the fact that I've seen government vehicles driving around on golf carts, or not golf carts, but, ATVs or whatever. So, option 1, growing food. Option 2, buying food. Option 3, I don't know, converting my bioelectric systems to pure electric and just run myself off a solar panel. Then I don't need food. Wouldn't that be fun? That's the wave of the future. Or just big chemical batteries anyway. Copper top. Anyway, so I guess, one part of it is, because when I buy groceries, I buy a lot of stuff. It seems like, it looks like a lot because it's on the passenger seat of the truck and rolls down onto the floor. But it's probably not more than 10 bags at any one time. So a cargo trailer on the back of a bicycle could easily haul it. It would not be a big deal. 100 miles one way though, that's a long ways. Ride to town, camp at the Walmart, do your shopping the next morning, and then ride home after you shopped. I mean, with electric boost, if you could go 20 miles an hour, it's 5 hours. You could do it. I wouldn't want to ride the road at night, but if you got a good start in the morning, so you hit the highway at sunrise, like I do now. So if you hit the highway by 6, you could be to town by noon. And on a lot of that road, if you're going 30 miles an hour, and here's the thing is go fast, empty. Yeah, go fast, empty, and then take your time coming back. That's alright. 13 seconds left. Whatever. I do think I should grow some food though. Well, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, that should work. Cool. I do things differently. Oh, and please, if you like any of this, it would be really awesome if you could subscribe and click that notify bell. Drop a comment if you have any questions or ideas. Share, like, comment, subscribe, notify. Oh, and Patreon if you're really an awesome kind of person. Thank you so much for watching.